Hi guys, I'm Bharti and welcome back to my channel. As you all know, this channel is all about gentle wisdom and shame-free productivity. The reason why I've been wanting to talk about shame-free productivity a lot is that because in the general YouTube space and in the personal growth space, there's a lot of stuff going around that is more harmful than it is beneficial. At least that has been my experience. So in this video, I thought that I would debunk some of those myths or decondition, if I may, or give a hot take. Disclaimer, these are my opinions, and I'm not saying that the general productivity advice doesn't work for anyone, but there are people such as me who it never worked for, and I was always 5 steps backward instead of 10 steps forward. So I had to unlearn a lot of stuff, and I thought that this would help you as well. So if you don't relate to any of this, please don't take it personally, or please don't think that it's your fault in some way. Please just consider it as someone else's opinion and move on. The first myth that I'd like to debunk is that there is a one size fits all model for everything, especially personal development. A lot of times we're fed this idea that this one routine might change your life, or if you wake up at 4 a.m., it would fix your life, or if you just do XYZ, then you'll achieve XYZ. And it perpetuates the idea that there's always a single solution for everybody's problems, and you need to chase that elusive idea outside of you. And if you're not able to chase it or grab it, then it means that you're doomed. If you're not able to wake up at 4 a.m., you're doomed. If you're not able to do a side hustle, you're doomed. This completely ignores that humans are different. We all have a different neurotype. We all have different resources. We all have different privileges. We all have different shortcomings. And we all have different aspirations for our life. So what works for you might not work for me, and vice versa. And that doesn't mean that you're broken or I am broken. It means that we're simply different, and that there are different things that work for different people. And it means that you need to change your tools, not change yourself. So the next time someone's routine doesn't work for you, don't assume that you're broken. Just place the blame where it lies. Just say, hey, this doesn't work for me, and move on. My second and biggest issue is that society makes us believe that productivity is tied to our self-worth. I cannot tell you how many times I've tried to force myself to be productive, thinking my self-worth was tied to it. And what I mean by that is that I believed that if I don't study for XYZ hours a day, if I don't read XYZ number of books per month, or if I don't do this or that, then I don't deserve the life that I want. Because if I were good enough for it, then I would be able to do it, right? If I really was worthy of the life that I want, then I'd simply be able to get up every morning, exercise, meditate, study 12 hours a day, and just do it all. And if I don't do that, I'm not worthy of the life that I want. But I cannot tell you how untrue this is. Okay, hear me out. Imagine that you love this beautiful piece of furniture that you see on IKEA, and imagine that this piece of furniture is your dream life, and so you order it and it comes, and now you're supposed to assemble it. And now imagine you have this really old screwdriver that's not even yours, you just borrowed it from somebody, and now you're trying to assemble all this furniture and you're not able to assemble it with that tool. Does that mean that you don't deserve the furniture? The furniture is a completely different concept, and the tool is just that, a tool. So the next time a routine doesn't work for you, just look at it as the tool that's not working for you, rather than a proof that you're not worthy of the life that you want. Your productivity is not an objective estimate of how much you're worth. Your productivity is just a tool that is designed for you to go after the things that you like. My third issue is that we all treat habits like they're one and done thing. Once you develop a habit and integrate it into your routine, you will just move through life with that habit forever integrated into yourself, and you'll just need no effort. Forming a habit is only 50% of the job. I would say the rest of the 50% is maintaining it. And you have to do it in the face of life. Life is constantly throwing at us ebbs and flows. Sometimes we're the best version of ourselves who has all the energy in the world. Sometimes we're a really vulnerable version of ourselves and we need help even getting up from the bed. And that's not wrong, that's human. The real skill is realizing that you've gotten off track and getting yourself back on track again. You need to treat it as a dynamic dance instead of a rigid structure. My fourth issue with the current trends in personal growth are that shame is not a good motivator. And shame is sneaky. No one's actually going around on social media telling you that you need to shame yourself more. But there are subtle ways of saying that. When we're constantly told to ignore sleep, ignore food, lock ourselves into our room, disappear for 6 months, ignore all of what is going on in our lives, and just show up and grind and hustle, that to me feels a lot like shame. I'm not discrediting the importance of discipline and consistency. They are pivotal in anything that you want to do, but there is a good and a bad way to do it. And shame is definitely one of the bad ways to do it. When we're not connected to what we actually want in our lives and what actually motivates us in a good way, that is when we default to using shame as a motivator. However, when we're really connected to what we value in life, what are our preferences, what works for us and what doesn't work for us, then there is a natural kind of pull towards doing a thing. Let me know if you would like a whole video about how to not use shame as a motivator. But in general, just gravitating less towards shame and gravitating more towards joy and all the good things that motivate you is a much more sustainable way of motivating yourself. And the last thing that I want to talk about is that success does not look the same for everyone. We're fed this notion that success looks like more money, more material things, more status, more fame, more cars. And I'm not saying all of these things are not success. I'm saying that there are other things too that are also success. More inner peace, more time for family, a gap year, flexibility, changing jobs. These can also be your ideas of success, and you are entitled to have those ideas. For that internal notion of your own idea of personal success to come through, there needs to be space for exploration. And when you're constantly fed opinions about success from the outside, it hinders your opportunity to give yourself that space for exploration and figure things out for yourself. Success can look whatever you want it to look like, and your idea of success can change in different seasons of life. You don't have to stick to one idea of success just because someone else says it. All of this to say that we all deserve to show up and live our life in a very authentic way without having any kind of external pressures shrinking us or forcing us into little boxes. When there are so many opinions going around, I think it becomes our responsibility to unlearn and develop some kind of discernment and take what works for us and let go of the rest. And that is the whole point of deconditioning and unlearning and myths debunking and being authentic. If you disagree with any of this, you're free to disagree, and please let me know if there are some things that lacked nuance, because that's exactly what I'm here for. Broadening instead of overgeneralizing and oversimplifying. Let's all learn from each other and grow from each other. And I hope you learned something from this video, or at least had fun listening to me. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. And until then, be you.